I hope that you're doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Boom Shaka, and I welcome you to my channel. As always, I'm so grateful that you're listening, subscribing, commenting. I really appreciate the support. And in this one, I wanted to speak to you about worries or anxiety and how my sister, who's an INTJ, actually suggested this idea to me because she has a lot on her plate. She's actually like a type A personality. She's a high performer. She has loads of things on her plate. She's a board of director of like several different places, and she's working as a lawyer for the government, and she's doing a bunch of other things. She's also a writer on top of all this. And so she has a lot on her plate, and I noticed that she has days when she'll message me saying, I feel really anxious. I feel like I'm not getting everything done as I wish for it to be done. And she's a perfectionist on top of all of that. So when she's doing something, she wants it to be absolutely as close to perfect as possible. And so she has moments and days where she'll get up and she'll feel that knot of anxiety in her belly, or her chest tightening up, or that feeling like she's not enough and there's not enough time, and she needs to work faster and harder, and she needs to clone herself if she really needs to get everything done. And I'm sure you guys have been, you people, guys and gals and others, have been in the situation before where you've been in that place where it feels overwhelming. It feels like you don't have enough time to do everything that you want to get done. And that you are putting a lot of pressure on yourself, and you feel that pressure in your chest, you feel that pressure in your belly, in your gut, and it feels overwhelming, and you just want to just give up on the whole situation and just go to bed, fall asleep, take a nap, ignore everything, ignore the entire reality of things, go watch Netflix or something like that. And that's what a lot of us end up doing in these anxiety-filled situations, where instead of actually doing the work, we just ignore it, or we pretend like it doesn't exist, or we go, do something else instead. We procrastinate. And so what she suggested to me that she started doing is she started writing down a list of all of her worries. And so this is actually very useful, especially also if you have insomnia. A lot of times when you're like laying awake in bed and you're thinking about things and you're not able to go to sleep, it's because you're in that mode of, oh my God, I have so much to do. Oh my God, I don't know if I should be sleeping. Oh no, I don't know if I'm allowed to sleep. I should actually sit down and do my work instead of sleeping. Or I should get stuff done instead of being such a lazy ass bum. I don't know if I should have used those words. Instead of being a lazy person. Yeah. And so when you have these feelings of overwhelming anxiety and fear or worry, what she recommends and what she does is that she just writes all of the worries down. It doesn't take that long, actually. In fact, what happens is that in your mind, it seems like a huge monster. In your mind, it seems like, oh my God, I have 1,000 things to do. But then when you actually write it down, when you actually put it down on paper, you sit down calmly and you write down what your worries are, you realize that, in fact, there's only 5 of them. Or in fact, there's only 10 of them. Really, most people are not dealing with more than 5 to 10 worries at once. And you're probably sitting there thinking, no, but I have many more than that. Well, test it out. Sit down, write down all the different worries that you have right now in this moment in time. Think about it. Actually, even right now I'm thinking about it and I can't think of more than 4. But that's for me, obviously. Every person's different. So most people, as I said, will have 5 to 10. Maximum I can think of that you might have would be 15. But really, it's stretching it, because at that point you're probably close to burning yourself out because you're taking on way too much stuff. And that's actually a good hint as well, is maybe you should say no more often. Maybe you should be saying no to the people that are asking you to do all of these different things, rather than saying, yeah, I can do everything. I'm Superwoman or I'm Superman. You're not. There's a limited amount of time on the planet. There's a limited amount of energy that you have. There's a limited amount of working hours where you're awake and able to do stuff. There's other things you have to do as well, taking care of yourself, making sure that you're eating enough, making sure that you're drinking enough water, making sure that you're sleeping enough. All of those basics have to be taken care of. They're not a non-negotiable, right? And so, of course, what happens is that we believe that we are Superman, Superwoman, or super person, and we go on and we do take on a lot of stuff that we shouldn't. We take on more than we should. And what happens is that we start compromising on our sleep. We start compromising on our self-care habits. We start compromising on mostly actually sleep. What happens naturally is that if you don't have enough time to do all your work, what are you going to do? You're going to sleep less. You're going to wake up earlier, or probably you're going to go to bed late, and you're going to try and get everything done. And even while you're sleeping, probably you're not actually sleeping, but you're probably going through your to-do list, or you're worrying about what you're supposed to be doing, and in fact you're not actually even resting, right? I know I do that quite often, and I really have to literally stop myself, be like, all right, you can't fix anything right now, you have to sleep, because if you don't sleep right now, you're going to be groggy tomorrow, and then you're not going to be able to get everything done tomorrow, and then it's going to pile up even more. And so that's how I threaten myself, I guess, kind of, or console myself or control myself, so that I don't let my fears or worries get me over myself, and then control my sleep as well. You know, I try to make sure that I use my talents to convince myself to make sure that I actually sleep properly. Because if I don't, as I said, the next day is going to be a complete waste. I'm not going to get stuff done. Things are going to pile up even more, and then I'm going to have more and more things to worry about. Again, things that I don't need to worry about because I already have way too much, right? So I do recommend, as I said, if you are in that mode, and I'm sure this probably happens, it happens to my sister once a week. It happens to me once every 2 or 3 weeks as well, where I'll sit down and I'll suddenly wake up, or I'll suddenly sit up in bed or on my desk, and I'll be like, I have way too much to do. I don't think I can get everything done. I think I feel overwhelmed. I feel like I'm panicking on the inside. Of course, I don't show it on the outside because you can't do that. But in general, I'll be panicking on the inside, and I'll take that as a sign that I am overdoing it, that I'm not taking care of myself enough, that I'm probably dehydrated as well. I'm probably not eating enough either, or sleeping enough, and it's time for me to amp up my self-care stuff. But another thing to add to that, obviously, now is to write down what is worrying you, what is on your plate that's really causing you to feel overwhelmed, what is causing you to feel like you can't take care of everything that's on your to-do list. Yeah, what are those things that are causing you to feel anxious? And as I said, as soon as you write it down, the monster that's in your head becomes this teeny tiny little baby elf, or this tiny baby fairy, or whatever you want to call it. It just becomes this tiny little thing that doesn't even matter anymore, because you realize, I thought it was 1,000 things, but no, it's only 4 things. Okay, cool. Yeah, I guess, there's still really big things, but I can handle it, or I can make a plan to handle it. And also another thing that she said that I really liked as well was she kind of creates that list of worries, so she's like, all right, these are all the things I'm worried about. And then she says, okay, what can I do right now to take care of one of these worries? Or what can I do right now to fix this anxiety that I'm feeling about this particular worry? Yeah. And so that's always the thing that we need to come back to, is that we can't do it all, and we can't do it all right now. We can't do it all right now. I want you to repeat this to yourself many times, because that's literally the thing that comes up in our heads, is that we want to do it all, and we want to do it all right now in this moment in time. Of course, we're not octopi with 1,000 hands. We can't go and do several different things at once. In fact, multitasking has been said to be a detriment to productivity. So if you do too many things at once, it's actually a bad thing for your productivity, because your productivity goes down. You might think it goes up, but it's not. It actually goes down. And so I try very hard not to multitask. It's very difficult, but I try very hard not to multitask, because I know that it's going to ruin my productivity. And so don't be multitasking, and you can't do it all yourself right in this moment in time. So what can you do right now in this moment in time to alleviate your anxiety? What one little thing can you do in order to make yourself feel better? And usually it's that one little thing that you've been procrastinating on, that phone call that you need to make, or that form that you need to fill out, or that book that you want to read, or something like that. There's this one little thing that you've been procrastinating on, and that's what's causing you anxiety. And if you could just get that done, check it off your to-do list, then you're going to feel a whole load better, right? And so that's basically the gist of it. Write your worries down and then try to come back to this present moment as much as possible and figure out what can you do right now to check off one little thing off your worry list, or to check off at least part of it, and so that you can feel better about this whole situation that you're in right now. And you'll notice that if you do these two things almost instantaneously, the worries, anxieties that were kind of taking over your mind, taking over your heart, making you feel like you're literally cramping up and you're feeling, claustrophobic and contracted, you're going to notice that you're going to open up again, and you're going to notice that your heart stops being so anxious and your gut stops being so anxious, and all of a sudden you're able to relax and let go and actually realize, okay, everything is under control, the world is not falling apart, everything is fine, all I need to do is this one little thing. Yeah. So I hope this makes sense. It's a small thing, it's a small step, it's a baby thing that you can really do. But if you remember to do it, I really believe that it'll help you alleviate your anxiety and help actually reduce a lot of your worries, and maybe even help you go through the day in a more serene manner, and maybe even fall asleep faster, which is one thing that all of us really need. If you have questions about this, comment below and I shall do a follow-up video. Thank you again for watching, for being on my channel. I really appreciate it, and I shall see you the next time around. Bye for now.